The Rechaim in Parashas Pinchas explains that when the Torah counts the families of the Jewish people, it lists very specific families. And the Rechaim explains that they're each listed for a purpose. And when it comes to the Shevet, the tribe of Yisachar, he says Yisachar, the word Yisachar is really two words, Yesh Sachar, which translates there is reward. The tribe of Yisachar was known for their diligence and their toil in Torah study. And he says that the Torah tells us in their name, just by looking at their name, you see there is reward. There is reward for the person who sits and studies day in and day out. And the Rechaim continues and says that there were 4 families counted amongst this tribe of Yisachar. The first family was Toila. Toila, he says, is one definition of the word Toila is a worm. A worm uses its mouth. That's the way it lives. So too, he says, the person who toils in Torah study is somebody who is using the power of the mouth. The second family, he says, is Puni. Puni is translated as clearing out, like to clear out a room. He says that the person who clears his entire being from everything other than Torah is what the Torah is referring to over here. In other words, he's not involved in extra talking, extra chatter, idle chatter. He's not involved in excessive materialism. All he's involved in is the study of Torah, and that's what makes him somebody who is a Yisachar, a Yesh Sachar, somebody who has that reward of the Torah study. The third family is Yashuv. Yashuv, he says, is the concept of sitting. It's translated as yeshiva, somebody who sits. Person who sits and toils in Torah, that's Yashuv. And the fourth family, he says, is Shomrain. Shomrain is somebody who watches. The concept of Shomrain is translated as Shmira, somebody who watches himself. What does he watch himself? The Rechaim brings down the Gemara that says, Rav said that if I buy meat on credit, it's a Chilul Hashem. What does that mean? If I buy meat on credit, even though everybody else is also buying meat on credit, but since I am a Torah scholar, I must hold myself to a higher standard. And therefore, if I buy on credit, I am desecrating the name of Hashem because I didn't pay for something the minute I got it. The concept of Shomrain is somebody who holds himself to a higher standard, and he requires of himself that he should always take the high road and always do what's right. When talking about Rabbi Gibber, someone who literally sits Yomam V'Layla day in and day out, toiling in the study of Torah early morning till late at night, all these 4 things are something that are so apparent. The concept of the toila, the worm, using the mouth, all he does all day is talk and study of Torah. The concept of puni, he has nothing else. He's completely cleared of other clutter, so to speak. No other materialism matters that much. Nothing, no idle chatter. Everything is about the study of Torah. Everything is about Torah and mitzvahs, and that is his entire being, his entire life. The third thing, Yashuv, to sit. That's what he does. He sits all day and learns. You can find him early morning, you find him late at night. He's constantly sitting and learning. And the last thing, the Shomrain, the person who watches himself, holds himself of a higher standard and says, I always must do what's right and take the high road. I always must go above and beyond. These are qualities that we see in Rabbi Gibber. And it's something that really, although I'm not there anymore, but it's something that is worthy of tremendous respect. And praised are the people who are able to connect with such a man. And praised is the community who's able to have such a man. And my bracha to him and to the entire community, that he should see many years of gesund, of health, and that the community should be able to benefit from just being in his presence, Just being in the presence of a man who studies and toils in Torah day in and day out. We know the Chavetz Chaim tells us that in the celestial map, the map in heaven doesn't look like the earthly map. The earthly map, we know, you take a look at a map of the United States, the largest state is Texas. But the celestial map, the Chavetz Chaim says, goes by how much mitzvahs and Torah exists in a place. The more mitzvahs and Torah, the larger the locale is. When you have someone of this stature living in your midst, he multiplies the size of the city, the state, the neighborhood by 100-fold because of the study of Torah. And may he and the community be zeicha to many, many more years of growth, of Torah study, and of tremendous health. Thank you.